Good morning, everybody. If we could ask you to grab a refreshment and take a seat, we'll try to get ourselves started here on this beautiful, beautiful day. It is absolutely spectacular. We're hoping that we can have school outside today, and so we're glad that you're here. We'll get ourselves started. We're thrilled that you came to join us. My name is DeVos. I'm the co-chair of First Steps, and honored to be part of this great effort, and thrilled to have a chance to talk to you about it this morning. First Steps, let me introduce it a little bit to you. It's really an initiative to increase our attention on young children and their families in our community, 0 to 5, early childhood kids that are just getting started. Oops, okay, keep that working. And it's really a collaboration that you're going to hear about of a lot of different people who are focused on saying we can and should do better as a community. Our vision is that every young child in Kent County will be ready to succeed in school and in life, that they are prepared from the very earliest of stages, and we'll talk a little bit about more about why that is important and how we view that, the potential of these very young children. And a little bit about our role, Kate and I as co-chairs of the commission. I think there's a few things that are important to understand. First of all, this is the work of a lot of great people who are very knowledgeable about this topic and who have come together. The commission was formed simply, I think, for three things. One, for a bit of oversight. You have a lot of different people from different organizations. There wasn't one common oversight group, and so we were asked to serve in that capacity. Two, for encouragement, I think for all the commission members, and we'll get a chance to meet them momentarily, that this is the right thing to do, the right direction to go. And three, for community connections. This is really a community effort, and therefore commission members are made up of community volunteers, people who are active in the community in a variety of capacities. And that's why this initiative is very has been well received, we believe, and has great potential to move forward. I do want to recognize some folks who have helped bring us to this point. First of all, from the Early Childhood Investment Corporation, the chairman is here, Susan Broman. Susan, can we ask you to stand up? Oh, you're already standing in the back there and waving. Susan is also the president of the Steelcase Foundation, has been involved with First Steps, is a tremendous supporter for us, and we're very grateful for that. Also, we have other members of the Early Childhood Children's Commission who are here today, and I'd like to ask all of them to stand so they can be recognized, all those who have been serving. So our fellow commission members, if you could stand. Thank you and welcome. I'd like to introduce the speakers now. On my immediate left is Kate Pugh Walters, who is the co-chair of the Early Childhood Children's Commission with me. She takes care of me and keeps me out of trouble, usually. the best you can. Next to Kate is Lynn Farrell, who is from the program office at the Fry Foundation and the chair of the Great Start Collaborative. Lynn, thanks for being here. Next to Lynn is Lou Chamberlain. Lou is the CEO and managing partner of the West Michigan Whitecaps and a commission member. And then we have Janara Hoskins, who is a member of the Great Start Parent Coalition. Janara has 2 children, a 6-year-old daughter and a 4-year-old son. And she is an eligibility specialist with the Department of Human Services and formerly a teacher in the Grand Rapids Public Schools. So, Janara, thank you and welcome. It is fun to be in a park. We kind of chose this location because it's a community location. It's a community resource. It brings people together, and it certainly brings children together. When my children were a bit younger, we spent a lot of time at parks and just loved it. And so we feel that this is a great location to be here, and because this initiative really belongs to our whole community. Personally, I was thrilled when I learned of the work that was going on, and I was asked to be involved with this commission and with this effort, because as a lifelong community member here, the question always comes as to what about the future? Where's the next generation? And we have the potential for greatness in our next generation, in the children of this community today, right now, and the children that will be in this community in the years in the future. And what we know we can do is provide a better environment for those kids to be able to succeed in school and in life. And if there was anything I could do to be part of it, I was thrilled to be able to do that. And the feeling that this would be able to make young children and their families a community priority was also very important. We believe that children have tremendous potential. All children have tremendous potential. The great leaders in our community are here, right now. We just haven't found them yet. We haven't created those opportunities for them yet. They haven't shown themselves yet, but they will. And that's why we are excited about this. So those are some maybe opening thoughts, and I'd like to turn it over to Kate P. Walters to continue on. Kate?
Thanks, Doug. So what exactly is First Steps? Doug has covered a lot of it, but let me be a little bit more specific. Again, it's a community partnership that involves parents and human service agencies, business leaders, healthcare providers, educators, foundations, faith leaders, and very committed volunteers. We come from very diverse backgrounds and have different interests, but we all share one common belief, that community's children deserve an opportunity to reach their full potential. This effort to bring people together from all areas of Kent County and fostering new partnerships and collaborations. We've repeatedly seen service providers put aside their own interest to meet the needs of children. All of the major healthcare systems in Kent County have come together to help ensure that all of our kids are getting quality health care. I'd like to ask everybody, including those in the smaller committees who have been a part of First Steps, to stand for a moment to give you an indication of the wide range of people that have been involved. Everybody who has been involved, please stand. Thank you. I'd also like to take a moment to thank our inaugural funders, whose dedication and commitment is helping to ensure that all of our children are ready to succeed in school and in life. The Heart of West Michigan United Way, the Fry Foundation, the Steelcase Foundation, and the Early Childhood Investment Corporation. Let's give them a round of applause. In addition, the Early Childhood Commission wouldn't be here today if it weren't for the work of the Kent County Family and Children's Coordinating Council, which is chaired by Carol Payne McGovern, which has played an incredibly important role in getting this up and running, and thank you very much for that. Like all of you, I've seen the alarming statistics and headlines, those headlines that tell us too many of our children aren't able to read, that our infant mortality rate is unacceptably high, that we're losing far too many boys and girls to crime and to violence. Every time I see one of those headlines, I become more and more concerned. We have to do better for the children of Kent County. The many people who are a part of First Steps share my concern, but they also share an optimism that we can make a lasting difference by investing in the earliest years of a child's life. Those early years are our focus, prenatal to kindergarten. We are taking a systemic approach, working to create a network of support services for young children and their families. This initiative is universal and voluntary. We believe there is something here for every young child of Kent County. First Steps will provide some new services, but more than that, this is about aligning and coordinating existing programs, identifying the gaps, and then making sure that no children or families fall through the cracks, and improving access. We have four main goals: to help all children access quality health care, to give families the tools that they need to provide opportunities for their children, to improve the learning opportunities that build healthy brains, and to make children and families an urgent community priority. Over the next 6 months, we will be launching several pilot projects, and we invite you to stay tuned. The first deals with healthcare, called the Children's Healthcare Access Program. We believe this is something that can dramatically improve the health and well-being of thousands of Kent County children who rely on Medicaid, while also saving money in the delivery of health care. It's a collaboration involving local hospitals, private pediatricians, and other healthcare providers. This exciting project is getting underway this summer, and we'll have much more information to share in the next few weeks. In the area of family support, we are developing a program to reach all first-time parents in Kent County in the earliest days of their child's life. We call this Welcome Home Baby. We will reach out to parents while they are still in the hospital with their newborn. A nurse will then offer to visit them in their home within the next week to help answer any questions that many new parents have. At that point, we can also help connect families to long-term services in the community that can help them make sure that their children are getting a good start in life. We expect to begin Welcome Home Baby in the next several months, and once again, we anticipate more information will follow. We're also working on a couple of different projects to strengthen child care and early education in Kent County. We know that it's critical for young children to be in nurturing environments with stimulating learning opportunities. And we know that a majority of young kids in Kent County are receiving care from someone other than their parents. We will be offering professional development, training, coaching, and other supports to all kinds of caregivers, licensed providers, as well as family daycare providers. These projects are expected to begin in the fall. In every case, our work is modeled after existing initiatives around the country that have proven results. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel. Many people in Kent County have done extensive research over the years to study what works well and to determine what we need to do those same positive results in our community. At every step, we will be evaluating what we are doing, constantly checking ourselves. We're committed to making adjustments along the way. And we understand that this is a start, the first steps, if you will. But these are significant steps, and I'm convinced that by investing in our young children and their families, we can help rewrite some of those headlines and help ensure that all of our children have the opportunity to reach their full potential. Thanks. Doug?
Lynn, turn to you. And Carol?
Thank you. There's an African proverb that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. In many respects, that's been the mantra for First Steps. I serve as the chair of the Great Start Collaborative of Kent County. This is a group of 45 people representing human service agencies, school districts, child care, the courts, libraries, government, healthcare, and perhaps most importantly, parents. We're all working together to support our youngest children and their families. Our Great Start Collaborative is a part of a statewide Great Start system that Governor Granholm first introduced in 2005. The purpose is really to assure a coordinated system of community resources and supports to help all Michigan families provide a great start for their children aged 0 to 5. The public corporation known as ECIC that Doug mentioned, that our colleague Susan Broman chairs, is currently funding Great Start Collaboratives in 21 counties around Michigan, and the goal is to expand around the entire state. The ECIC is also supported by many generous donors from the private sector. In Kent County, the Great Start Collaborative is a major partner of First Steps and works closely with the Early Childhood Children's Commission. This work is very personal for me. I was fortunate enough to have quality early care and education when I was a young girl. And I don't have any doubt that that played a significant role in my later success in school and in life. But too many children that I grew up with did not have the same opportunities. And when we all showed up on the first day of kindergarten, they were already behind. And when you start at a deficit, it's hard to ever catch up. Kate mentioned some disturbing statistics, and I'll add a couple of more. 14% of the students in Kent County have to repeat kindergarten. This is an issue in urban, suburban, and rural communities. More than a quarter of all children starting kindergarten can't identify half the letters of the alphabet or identify rhyming words. These are skills fundamental to early literacy. But we can change that. And we're not just talking about academic success. Doug mentioned that our goal is to make sure that every child in Kent County is ready to succeed in school and in life. We're really talking about life success. Research tells us that social and emotional skills are just as important as cognitive skills. This is the ability to get along well with others, to focus on a task, to trust people, and persevere in tough situations. We're not talking about making more resilient kids. There are always going to be resilient kids. We're talking about changing the odds for kids. A lot of what we're talking about isn't new. We know intuitively that children who have positive relationships when they're very young will likely have positive relationships when they're adults. We know intuitively that children who are exposed to books and encouraged to explore will become more curious and dedicated students. We know intuitively that before children can succeed in school, they need to be healthy, physically and emotionally. And we know how much babies and toddlers learn every day. Now we have the research from scientists backing up what we as parents and grandparents already knew. But our public policy doesn't always mesh with what we know. We believe that it's time that we close the gap between what we know and what we do for our children and for this community. Thanks, Doug.
Thanks, Lynn. Appreciate that. Lou Chamberlain?
Thank you. Good morning. I want to share maybe some things that I've learned and some statistics that are maybe more hopeful and tell us why we should embark on this work. First, let me explain what the baseball guy is doing here. Besides being up way earlier than he usually is up. You know, for a baseball guy, this is still the crack of dawn. And 5 o'clock this morning was out of sight. But to tell you the truth, I've been interested in children's and family issues for a long time. And when you stop and think about it, it really makes sense, because after all, that is what the Whitecaps are all about. You know, we're all about kids and family, and we care about kids and family. And so, for the last 15 years, I've been involved in various different initiatives that have focused on children's issues. And over that time, I've really reached the conclusion that as a community, all of us together, it's absolutely imperative that we do all that we can do to make sure that our children succeed. And sadly, I think up till now, we just haven't been doing enough. And I think some of the statistics we've been hearing bear that out. So when Doug and Kate asked me to be involved, I was more than happy to comply. And I began attending meetings, which have been going on for the past couple of years. And during that time and in these meetings, I learned a great deal about early childhood development that I didn't know before. And I was really amazed by and struck by. I learned that children learn more by their 3rd birthday than any other time in their life. I mean, that's where it's at, folks. They learn to think, they learn to solve problems, they learn to cope with stress, they get their senses of humor, they learn to be creative, they learn to communicate, they learn to argue with one another. But you know what? That's how you work problems out. And it just makes sense that in this period, that's when they need the most support. I also learned about brain architecture. Sounds like a big concept, but it's really pretty simple. A child's brain is not fully developed when they're born. It develops over time, and it develops from the ground up, with early skills providing the foundation for skills learned further on down the line. And you can see if you mess with the foundation, then the house that eventually is built isn't going to be as strong as it can be. What happens in those early years can have a profound impact on how a child's brain develops and consequently how successful that child may be later in life. I also learned about stress. I learned that prolonged and persistent stress harms the developing brain and can actually change the physical development of the brain. And when young children are stressed, whether it is from poverty or tension in the home or abuse and neglect, what really happens is that the brain actually stops learning. It has an actual physical effect on that foundation that's being built that I described before. And finally I learned, and this is my favorite part, anybody who's worked with me will know this, there is a significant return on investment when communities invest in young children. Programs for young children have a much higher return than programs that intervene later in life. And studies have found that for every dollar invested in early childhood programs, there's a return on that investment of up to $17, depending on the type and the intensity of the program. You know, if you average it out, it probably averages between $5 and $7. You know, a 7 times return on your investment. Speaking as an entrepreneur, I'd go for that every time. The benefits include lower special education costs, higher high school graduation rates, a better trained and higher earning job force, which is attractive to me, I'll tell you that, and a reduced crime and welfare dependency. So when I thought about it, I thought, that makes all the sense in the world. Doesn't it make sense to deploy our resources to help children while they're developing, when they need the support, rather than later on to invest much, much, much more to solve problems like truancy and addiction and crime? It makes all the sense in the world to spend the money and support those kids in those early years, when those brains are developing, when they're learning more than they'll ever learn at any other time. So that's what convinced me, and my conviction is that this kind of comprehensive and universal approach to early childhood issues is exactly what this community needs. And I'm here to tell you that I'm going to do everything I can to make it a reality.
Great.
So, having said that, I'm going to turn it over to Zanara.
Good morning, everybody. I am really proud to speak on behalf of the parents of this community. I am a member of the Great Start Parent Coalition, which is made up of committed parents from all over Kent County. We are child advocates, focusing on improving the lives of children and families in our community. The Great Start Parent Coalition is open to any parent in our community who wants to work with others to ensure that all children get what they need from the start. If you're interested in more information, please go to www.firststepskent.org. You know, parents have played a significant role in the planning and implementing of First Steps because we will be the consumers of this product. We know the things that children and families need and what will make a difference. If the system had been created without our input, it wouldn't be as successful. So we have been part of every step, joining committees, attending meetings, giving our thoughts and ideas, sharing our knowledge and experiences to ensure that what is created is what families and children need. As a former teacher and now a caseworker for the state of Michigan, I work with many children and families. And while we may not be of the same race, have the same income or background, one thing we all share and all have in common is that we want what is best for our children. But many parents don't know where to get the support they need. Parents want help. They want support in helping their children be the best that they can be. We have long hoped that our community would make an investment that would ensure that every child in Kent County has the opportunity to reach their full potential. That is what First Steps is, a community investment for all children, because it is about all children, not just our own. All children need love, support, quality health care, and education. Sadly, many of us have witnessed the results that come from all children not getting these crucial things. First Steps is a solution. It is an answered prayer for the families and children of this county. It is a start in the right direction. For some time now, Kent County has tried to create a system that would support families and children in being successful and having everything they need to reach their full potential. It's been a long process, and there's still more to be done. However, what stands out the most to me as a parent is that Kent County never gave up. We never stopped knowing that making an early investment in our children is as critical as breathing is to live. That says a lot about the heart of this community. It says that we recognize the value of every child and how critical it is that each child has a great start with well-executed first steps to reach their potential and be successful. It tells parents that this county cares about all children and that we recognize that all parents want what is best for their children and that this community is going to do what we should and can to help all children have the best start. I am a firm believer that you reap what you sow. This community is going to reap a great harvest from what we sow by investing in the lives of our children. Thank you.
Thank you all for your comments and for further elaboration on the details. Just a couple things to point out. Collaboration. We don't have the answers. We don't pretend to have all the answers, but we have worked with a lot of people from a variety of perspectives who have great ideas worthy of pursuing. The pilot projects that were mentioned. So in many ways, when we talk first steps in a child's life, it's first steps in a lot of these initiatives too. This is a start of a long-term process, and I think that's important. The second thing is we didn't just get started, though. We have been, as a commission, learning, not just talking about things we believe in, but learning what the facts are. What's the reality of the situation? And then trying to work with the professionals and the experts in those areas to support some of these pilot projects and these initiatives that we believe can have an impact. And the third piece is evaluation. If we learn something that is a little different than we thought, we're going to adjust. And we're going to make sure that we continually challenge ourselves to say, is this the right direction? Are we really having the impact we want? And so I think those are a few things just to bring together for all of us with the depth that we feel. Collaboration to me happens when people feel so strongly about a cause that they're willing to take their individual or independent issues and put them behind and bring forward their individual expertise to help the cause. And that's what we've seen in this entire effort. And so we're very thankful. The last point I would say is I thought it was perfect that the kids were playing and having fun. I saw a few parents asking them to be quiet, but that was exactly what we needed here, right? We needed to have that aspect of it. So we are thankful for all of you being here, for sharing in your commitment, your belief in that cause that we share. We believe there is tremendous opportunity. We believe we are taking first steps and just getting started as we begin to address some of these issues from a community basis. But we will need your help. We will need more and more support and more help as we go, and more involvement from the community, from parents, from families, from other people in the community to help make sure this is a success. So with that, thank you for coming. Remember our website for more information, www.firststepskent.org. Have to get that plug of promotion in there just a little bit. And thank you again for being here to participate this morning. I think we're adjourned. Thanks, everybody.